Hi, my name is Micha, and today I will show you how your Tourne is built. We will start at the beginning, where the Tourne furniture and the wood pieces are made. So, here you can see our storage. Here the wood pieces are put on and are transported to their designated spot by a special robotic arm. And then the robot arm is also connected with the saw machine and two nesting machines, which then cut the pieces, which are then later transported and used for further production. This is the factory that Tourne started to build around 5 years ago. It took quite a lot of time for us and we put a lot of effort into it, but we think we made the best possible conditions to build the best campervan possible. So after the pieces come into the storage, they're automatically put with an arm to a saw or two nesting machines. The special thing about our nesting machine is that we cut the whole bottom of the campervan in one piece. And you can see this here. So the plate comes on, the vacuum pushes it down, and then from the top it cuts all the different pieces out. It's also okome wood, which is water resistant. If some water gets behind the edges, then it won't bubble up in a couple of years, which is very important. When the pieces come from the storage, they go onto two nesting machines, which are used for more complicated shapes, like you can see here, like all the more round edges. And then down there, we have a saw that is used for the straight lines. So this is our saw for straight edges. It's connected directly with the storage space, so it can cut the big plates when they're put on, but we also use it to cut the smaller pieces, so we have as little waste of wood as possible. So this is one of our most used CNC machines. It's the 5-axis CNC machine. If there is a shape you need to at a certain angle to build the cabinets and so on. Here you can see our 3-axis CNC machine. It's used for shapes that don't need a certain angle. So we want the best quality as possible, and with that we can also make the Tourne last as many years as possible. So this is a machine that puts on the ABS tape. ABS tape is used to protect the edges, also to make them waterproof. For this we use a special pure glue. If any water comes in contact, there is no expanding and no problems. This is our machine that puts in the dowels. We use dowels in almost all of our furniture. So we connect everything with dowels and glue, and then also screw it together. So we make as strong a furniture as possible, which makes it last longer, and also it's much quieter when driving. In the last couple of years, we really made a lot of improvements, because before we didn't make our own furniture, but now we do. So this is where a big difference was made. Also the quality of everything really went up, and if we find some mistakes, we can correct them immediately and make improvements. So here you can see the shapes that we do on our 5-axis CNC machine. These shapes are used and made because we want to use as much space as possible inside the campervan. So every corner and every inch of space is used as best as possible. So here you can see this comes here. We have a special piece that we put also in between here, and everything connects like this. Because we want to make as compact and quiet furniture as possible, we use special molds that are built by our own team. Here you can see all the different shapes that we used, all the different molds and so on. And here you can see one mold that it's actually in use. So all of this was built by ourselves. So you can see here all the edges are filled, there are no gaps. And this is where we really made a big improvements in the last 3 years. Everything we do it to perfection. It's really important that we also, if we find some mistakes or find that something is not working, that we improve it directly. So this is what we can do here with our own wood production. We really make a lot of improvements. So with the new factory, we really try to make as best as possible conditions to build the best campervan we possibly can. Also, we try to make the best conditions for the workers. As you can see, there is a lot of natural light here. The air quality is very good because we have a lot of air circulation. Here you can see everything is very clean. This is also very important to us because if it's clean here, it will also be clear in the campervan. So this place has a big history in wood production. Here you can see all the different factories that were here. First it was just a saw to cut wood. Then in Yugoslavian era there was a big wood production. Around 1,000 workers were working here. Then this place became abandoned. 5 years ago we started repairing it. And here you can see how it was before we started and how it is after now. And now I will show you our main production line where the campervan is actually made. So here is the start of Tourne production line. We come here. This is the place where all the holes for the windows are cut. Here you can see our own special construction, which we built specifically for this purpose. So here you can see that it's not already cleaned, but after every hole will be cut, this will be thoroughly cleaned for about an hour, which is really important because you don't want any pieces of debris inside the holes, because then later this becomes rust. So this is really important to us that we clean everything very thoroughly. So in the last year we made a big improvement. Now for the frames of the windows we don't use wood anymore, but we use Purolith, which is completely water resistant. So even if some water comes in contact with the material, there will be no problem and the Tourne will last much longer. So the next station is the one where insulation is put in. The insulation is really important for Tourne because we are on season campervan, that we are also really good in the winter. This you can see is a 32mm thick insulation that is put all around the campervan. It's important to us that we have good insulation because then it's really all season campervan. It works really good in the winter and also in the summer because it keeps the cold inside. If you come here, you can also look that every hole is filled with Armaflex. We need to be so thorough because we don't want any thermal bridges inside the campervan, and we want to have as best insulation as possible so we can be used in all seasons. So this is the station where the floor is put in. Our floor is different because at first it's always electrically heated, and also we built in special vents that push air all around the campervan, so it's always heated even if you're not plugged to electric. So here you can see how thick it is. It's 30mm thick, no thermal bridges, and everything is well insulated. Here you can see, as I told you before, that the whole floor is in one piece, which is important because it eliminates the risk of water contamination, and also the ceiling is in one piece. So this is the station where we put on our insulated wastewater tank. It was built specifically for Tourne. So we need to have an insulated wastewater tank if we want to camp in winter, because if you don't have it, the water will freeze and you will have a big problem with all the systems. What is also special is that our insulated wastewater tank is also heated via Webasto or Truma with our special vents that we created. So this is the furniture that is first put in, is the start of the bedroom. So here you can see that everything is also connected in here with the dowels and glue and also screws, which is really important because it much more stabilizes the whole furniture and not everything is moving around. And it's also much quieter. And also all around here you can see holes in the floor which are made for the Webasto system or Truma, so that they push air all around the campervan. So here you can see there are different steps where all the furniture is put in. I won't go into detail here because there are so many different steps that have to happen to put all the furniture in. But if you want, we can make a more detailed video about each step and how each furniture is put inside. So this is the station where we put on our stickers. We print our own stickers with 3M tape. So it's really important for us that also the stickers last a long time. So these are our chairs. This is the station where the chairs are put in. The chairs are also sent to a special manufacturer which stitches them over into the leather. For us, it's important that there are no wrinkles, there are no stitches that are coming out, so that everything is really compact and built well. We really try to focus on the details. I won't show you all of them in this video, but here are just some. Here you can see all the foam that is up in, so the furniture is much quieter when driving. Also here you can see special insulation that is put in all the edges around here also. If you look at the Tourne design from 5 years ago, it looks very similar, but we actually made a lot of improvements because we really try to perfect our product. So here comes one of our most important steps in the line. It's the step where we check everything. So first we go through light for all the furniture, every gap, every hole. We check everything. Then the second step is that we blow everything with air So we go inside the whole construction, each hole, everything is blown out and then cleaned. And then at the end, we mark all the mistakes and fix them. So here you can see in how much detail we go. Here are some dents that we found and we will fix them in our own paint room so that when we send the campervan to the customer, it really comes in perfect condition. So this is our brand new painting room where we fix all the mistakes you saw before and where we also paint the bumpers for the select models. So after every check is done, all the mistakes are fixed. The camper goes into the final station where it's thoroughly cleaned, also on the outside. The windows are checked if there is any leaks, and then the campervan is ready to go.